Welcome to China, unveiled secrets behind the Great Wall. All right, let's talk about China, shall we? It's one of those places that manages to be both utterly fascinating and completely baffling at the same time, kind of like Nicolas Cage's career choices. China's got this millennia-old history. They're launching rockets into space like it's a bus schedule, and their economy has been growing faster than a bamboo forest on steroids. But behind the gleaming skyscrapers and carefully curated tourist attractions, there's a whole other side to China that doesn't always make it into the headlines, a side that's a little more complicated. So buckle up, because today we're going deeper than a fortune cookie's worth of wisdom. We're diving headfirst into the lesser-known realities of China, the kind of stuff that might just make you spit out your Tsingtao beer in surprise. Let's start with something that might make Orwell himself break out in a cold sweat: China's digital surveillance system. Now, we all know China's big on technology, but we're not just talking about fancy phones and self-driving dumplings here. We're talking about a level of monitoring so pervasive, it makes Big Brother look like a nosy neighbor peering through your curtains. Imagine walking down the street and having your face scanned by cameras every few steps. That's everyday life in China, where facial recognition technology is as common as chopsticks. They've got millions of these cameras, and they're not just for show. They can identify you in seconds, track your movements, and even pull up your social credit score. Oh yeah, did I forget to mention the social credit score? It's like a report card for your adult life, except instead of grades, you get points for being a good citizen. Pay your bills on time? Boom! Extra points. Share state-approved news articles. You go, Glen Coco. But criticize the government online, well, let's just say your score might take a nosedive faster than a panda on a slip and slide. This score can affect everything from getting a loan to even renting an apartment. And it's not just cameras. We're talking about monitoring of social media, messaging apps, the whole shebang. It's like the government's decided to become that one friend who's always lurking on your profile, except instead of leaving passive-aggressive comments, they can actually, restrict your internet access. Now let's talk about the internet in China, because it's not exactly the land of free-flowing information. Imagine a world without Google, Facebook, or YouTube. No, this isn't some dystopian nightmare, it's just a regular Tuesday in China. They've got their own versions of everything. Baidu instead of Google, WeChat instead of WhatsApp, Weibo instead of Twitter. It's like the internet went through a bizarre communist-themed cloning experiment. And while these platforms are wildly popular and incredibly innovative, they also operate under the watchful eye of the Chinese government. Criticism of the government, that'll get you censored faster than you can say Tiananmen Square. Certain historical events, political topics, even Winnie the Pooh, don't ask, are carefully scrubbed from the internet. It's like a giant game of whack-a-mole. Except instead of moles, it's any opinion the government deems even slightly disagreeable. And this censorship doesn't just affect individuals, it also creates a minefield for foreign companies trying to do business in China. Want to sell your product there? Well, get ready to play by their rules, which might involve censoring content, handing over user data, or even setting up shop in a special economic zone that's about as free as a caged panda. It's a whole different ball game, and not the fun kind where everyone wins a prize. Now let's talk about a different kind of Chinese puzzle: ghost cities. You know how China's famous for its massive, bustling cities? Well, imagine entire metropolises filled with towering skyscrapers, sprawling shopping malls, and perfectly paved roads, but with hardly a soul in sight. That's the eerie reality of China's ghost cities. Places where the ambition of urban planning collided headfirst with the realities of economic uncertainty. These cities were built on a wave of optimism, fueled by China's rapid economic growth and a belief that if you build it, they will come. But somewhere along the way, they seem to have gotten lost, leaving behind these surreal monuments to unfulfilled potential. Some of these cities are slowly starting to come alive, but many remain eerily empty, like a movie set after the actors have gone home. It's a stark reminder that even in a country as economically powerful as China, not every gamble pays off, and sometimes the pursuit of progress can lead to some truly bizarre outcomes. Chapter 4. The human cost of progress, working conditions in China. Let's not forget about the people who power China's economic engine, the workers. China is the world's factory floor, churning out everything from iPhones to those tiny umbrellas that go in your cocktails. But this breakneck pace of production often comes at a human cost. While China has made strides in improving working conditions, there are still concerns about low wages, long hours, and unsafe working environments, particularly in factories that supply global brands. Think about it, that ridiculously cheap t-shirt you bought online. Someone somewhere probably worked their tail off to make it, and they might not have been treated fairly in the process. And it's not just factory workers. The tech industry, with its infamous 996 work culture, that's 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., 6 days a week, is also feeling the pressure. It's a complex issue with no easy answers, but it's a conversation we need to keep having if we want to enjoy the benefits of globalization without turning a blind eye to its downsides. Let's move on to something a little less dystopian, shall we? China is renowned for its traditional medicine, with practices like acupuncture and herbal remedies dating back centuries. But even this ancient wisdom isn't without its controversies. While traditional Chinese medicine is promoted as part of China's cultural heritage, the government regulates it pretty tightly, and for good reason. Some traditional practices, like the use of endangered animal parts, have raised serious ethical and environmental concerns. It's like trying to cure a headache by giving a panda a worse headache. Not exactly a win-win situation. The Chinese government is trying to modernize the industry and crack down on harmful practices. But it's a bit like trying to herd cats, or maybe pandas. You get the idea. Forget Silicon Valley. The future of tech might just be written in Mandarin. China's gone from being the world's factory to a global leader in innovation, pouring billions into artificial intelligence, quantum computing, and space exploration. We're talking facial recognition on steroids, self-driving cars zipping around like they're late for a dim sum date, and robots that could probably steal your job and then write a symphony about it. Chinese tech giants like Huawei and Tencent are giving American companies a run for their money, and the competition is heating up faster than a bowl of Sichuan hot pot. This isn't just about who has the coolest gadgets. It's about who gets to shape the future of technology, and right now China's holding a pretty strong hand. But it's not all smooth sailing for the world's second largest economy. Remember those ghost cities we talked about? They're a symptom of a bigger problem. China's economy is starting to show some cracks. The real estate market is wobbling like a newborn giraffe. The birth rate is plummeting faster than a WeChat stock price during a government crackdown. And the trade war with the US? Let's just say it hasn't exactly been a walk in the park. On top of that, China's got its hands full with its Belt and Road Initiative, a ridiculously ambitious infrastructure project that makes building a bridge to Hawaii look like child's play. It's like China's decided to play a global game of Risk, but instead of armies, they're using construction crews and shipping containers. It's a bold move, but whether it pays off in the long run remains to be seen. So, there you have it, a glimpse behind the curtain of the Middle Kingdom. China's a land of contradictions, a place where ancient traditions clash with futuristic technology, where economic power goes hand in hand with social control, and where even the pandas aren't always black and white. It's a country that's both exhilarating and unsettling, and frankly, that's what makes it so damn fascinating. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the heart of China, hit that like button harder than a plate of Peking duck at a buffet. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on our next adventure. Now let's talk in the comments. What surprised you the most about China? Did I miss anything? Let me know, and I'll see you next time for another journey into the world's hidden corners.